Carlos Sainz will cut his first laps for Williams in Abu Dhabi's postseason test, following news he's been given an early release from the Scuderia. Sainz, who will leave Ferrari after 4 years at Maranello, will get a first chance to drive the Mercedes-powered FW46 ahead of his 2025 debut. Ferrari won't be so lucky, with Lewis Hamilton having to fulfill commercial commitments for Mercedes. Haas will run Esteban Ocon and says it's not holding back Nico Hülkenberg from joining Sauber. McLaren junior Ugo Ugochukwu has again proved that he's a star of the future, following his lights-to flag win in a chaotic Macau F3 race that had 5 safety car periods and a red flag. The young Lions were ready for action, as were the fans, and they didn't have to wait long, with Turn 1 becoming a car park after ART's James Wharton hit the barriers, collecting his rivals. But Ugochukwu kept out of trouble to become the first American to win Macau in 43 years, with the 17-year-old stepping up to F3 next year with his longtime squad Prema Racing. The F1 paddock was in deep shock ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix, following bombshell news that race director Niels Wittich had left his role with immediate effect, despite 3 races left to run. The FIA statement said Wittich had stepped down from his role in order to pursue new opportunities, but the German later stated that he'd been sacked, amid rumors of a recent breakdown in his relationship with FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem. Wittich will be replaced by Portugal's Rui Marques, who will step up to F1 from his F2 and F3 race director role. Rui brings a wealth of experience, having previously served as track marshal, scrutineer, national and international steward, deputy race director and race director in various championships, said the FIA statement. Aston Martin has made Dan Fallows its scapegoat for a difficult season, with the Brit stepping down as technical director this month, though he'll remain within the group. The ambitious Silverstone team is in the 4th year of its green iteration, but has failed to replicate its podium scoring form from last season, with 5th place in Saudi Arabia its best result from the 21 races so far. Aston Martin is flush with top talent, including ex-Ferrari technical director Enrico Cardile, and from 2025, design icon Adrian Newey, who joins as managing technical partner and shareholder. It's not yet known what role Fallows will take within Aston Martin. It is time for me to pass on the baton, but I look forward to watching the team's future success, which I am sure will come soon, Fallows said. Historic street circuit Monaco is set to stay on F1's calendar until at least 2031, with the sport safeguarding its future with a 6-year deal extension. Cars have raced in marvelous Monte Carlo since 1929, and the circuit's new deal ensures its centenary is celebrated properly with F1. The Monaco Grand Prix, however, will have a new race date from 2026, with the event switching with Canada to be on the first full weekend in June, avoiding a long-standing clash with the Indy 500. The streets of Monte Carlo are unique and a famous part of Formula One, and the Monaco Grand Prix remains a race that all drivers dream of winning, said Stefano Domenicali, F1's CEO and president. London's O2 Arena will be the place to be in February next year, with F1 holding a special season launch, where all 10 teams will unveil their 2025 liveries to celebrate the sport's 75th anniversary year. The 2-hour spectacular show will be held on February 18th, just a week before pre-season testing starts in Bahrain. Tickets to the F1 75 live event went on sale last week, with more details to be announced in the lead-up to the launch. F1 owner Liberty Media has announced that Greg Maffei, its president and CEO, will step down from his role at the end of the year, closing an almost two-decade tenure with the organization. Maffei, 64, who played a central role in Liberty Media's acquisition of F1 and its subsequent stabilization and growth, opted against extending his contract, but will stay on as a senior advisor. Liberty Media chairman John Malone will assume the role of interim CEO. 2025 Sauber F1 rookie Gabriel Bortoleto says he doesn't expect things to change next year with his manager, two-time world champion Fernando Alonso, despite the fact they'll race for rival teams. Bortoleto joined Alonso's A14 management stable in 2022, after which he won the F3 title and leads the F2 standings with 2 rounds to go. But the young Brazilian told official podcast F1 Nation that Aston Martin's Alonso won't leave him in the dark once they're on track.
He wants me to develop as much as I can and to improve and to have a long career there and to one day maybe win races and world championships. But obviously this is a long way there. You don't need to think about this right now, but I'm sure Fernando wants this for me and he's gonna keep helping me. He's not gonna just put me there and say, now figure out everything by yourself, good luck, and that's it.
Brazilian racing icon Rubens Barrichello has congratulated F1 on a hyper-competitive 2024 season, with so many cars winning races. Barrichello, who raced in F1 between 1993 and 2011, notching 322 starts, was famously part of Ferrari's dominant golden era when the Scuderia, led by his iconic teammate Michael Schumacher, stormed to 6 straight world championships. But the 52-year-old told F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid that 2024 has been a revelation from out of the blue.
It's a much more exciting year than obviously last year. I think that the fact that you turn on the TV and you don't know who's going to win makes up for it. We can see the fans. I heard more than 400,000 people in Mexico. To be very honest with you, I never saw a Friday so packed like the Friday that we had in Interlagos, and that's to do with the fact that it's good racing.
RB showed its stars and stripes ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix, with Red Bull's sister squad heading over to Texas for a very special stock car edition of its unserious race series. NASCAR racers Shane Van Gisbergen and Connor Zilich, both Red Bull athletes from Trackhouse Racing, were drafted in to bring Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson up to speed on American stock cars. Each with 500 brake horsepower at the wheels. Van Gisbergen and Zilich guided the two F1 drivers on aspects such as car positioning, corner speed, and qualifying laps, before pairing up for a head-to-head race around the Texan track. One that Tsunoda and Zilich won to lift the gigantic trophy, giving them a boost ahead of F1's arrival in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Team effort, totally.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.